Real friends don't turn their backs on you when there's a difference of opinion, but when that supposed difference of opinion has the potential to start a whole political battle, then it's their job to warn you of the dangers that lie ahead. But despite these admonitions, if someone refuses to budge, then sometimes we have no choice but to leave them. That's precisely why Pusha T decided to cut ties with Kanye. Let's look at what happened. Firstly, why did Pusha T and Kanye part ways? Pusha T just pushed Mr. Ye out of his life by officially and publicly cutting ties with his record label, Good, which he's been a part of since 2010. Sheesh. He was literally a core member of the team for over a decade now, and you're all probably wondering what made him want to suddenly cut his partner and friend loose like that. Well, it's hard being friends with someone who the entire world has decided to cancel, and it's no secret that Ye has been running into a lot of trouble with a lot of people for his views on the Jewish community. Many of Mr. West's business partners, and even a lot of his friends, have decided that Ye's ship is sinking, so it's best just to jump right off. T is no different. He knows that Kanye is going down, and he doesn't plan on going down with him, even though the man had a lot of incentive to stay. Kanye had made Pusha the president of the record label Good back in 2015, but even that wasn't enough to convince him. But the thing is, this decision made by Pusha was probably a strategic one, given that the company's parent label Def Jam also cut ties with Kanye some time ago. If you're wondering why everyone is suddenly abandoning Ye, let's face it folks, it's hard being friends with an anti-Semitic, especially in 2022. And to be fair, his comments did make a whole lot of people really uncomfortable. So can we really blame T? Coming up, why is Pusha T relevant again? Hey, if you're watching this video, you should already know this, but on the off chance that you don't worry folks, because we've got you covered. So let's give you an overview. So for those of you who don't know this, Pusha T is an American rapper, songwriter, and record executive. He's known for his work as one half of the hip-hop duo Clips, alongside his brother No Malice, and for his solo career. He has released several successful albums, including My Name Is My Name 2013 and Daytona 2018. And honestly, these albums are definitely worth listening to, because from what we've heard, this guy loves what he's doing, and he sings from the heart. If that's not enough, then we'll have you know that this lad has worked with a number of prominent artists in the hip-hop industry, including Kanye West, Jay-Z, and Rick Ross. Pusha T is known for his precise and technical flow, as well as his lyrics, which often touch on themes of drug dealing and street life. He's been a significant force in the rap game for over a decade now, and he's always extremely raw and vulnerable when it comes to using his music to talk about real things. Up next, how did Pusha and Kanye even become friends? It should not take a genius to figure this one out. They both had plenty in common, and this extends far beyond just their shared skin color. But also, of course, that plays a role. They're two black men who fought against the system and all the odds that were stacked up against them to make it big in a white man's world. But also, both of them have this passion for hip-hop. They put their heart and soul into their art, and nothing brings people together like a shared love for art. That being said, Pusha T and Kanye West have a long history of working together and have been friends for many years. Kanye West produced several tracks on Clips' 2002 album, Lord Willin', and the two have continued to collaborate on various projects over the years. Pusha T signed to Kanye West's Good Music label in 2010 and released his debut solo album, My Name Is My Name, on the label in 2013. Kanye West also produced several tracks on Pusha T's subsequent albums, including Daytona 2018 and King Push 2019. Besides their professional relationship, both of them are actually really good friends, or shall we say were, because all of this was way long before Kanye went on his anti-Semitism spree. Let's look at what Pusha had to say about the whole thing. Say what you want about Mr. T's decision, but one thing you can't deny is that he managed to remain dignified during the whole ordeal. The thing is, this man remembers his roots. He remembers that Ye really supported him on his climb upwards, and so now that he's on top, he can't completely forget what he owes Kanye. But at the same time, that's not reason enough for him to stay in a place that isn't good for him. He made it clear in a recent interview that he hasn't spoken to Kanye since November. He mentioned that he's not afraid of accepting that he disagrees with the Donda singer, and he firmly disagrees with the rapper's recent opinions pertaining to the Jewish community. He also made it clear that while he personally doesn't have any grudges against his former partner, he does think that Kanye needs help. According to Pusha, there's something going on with Kanye that's making him behave in the ways that he's behaving of late. There has been a lot of speculation about Kanye's declining mental health. some people do think that his behavior is just a symptom of his bipolar disorder. But is that enough to let him off the hook? We wouldn't know. Coming up, the times when T has disagreed with Ye in the past. Pusha T and Kanye West have had a complicated relationship over the years, with a number of high-profile disputes and public back and forth. One of the most well-known instances of their feud was in 2018, when Pusha T released a diss track called The Story of Adidon, in which he targeted Drake and accused him of hiding a child. Yikes! Kanye West later admitted that he had provided Pusha T with information about Drake's personal life that was used in the track. The conflict between the two escalated and led to a public falling out, with both artists taking shots at each other on social media and in their music. But hey, such fights are common between artists, apparently, so this became almost a non-issue, and they somehow managed to reconcile. And again, this wasn't the first time they had fought. The rising star also had an issue with West's support of the Trump campaign in 2016. He publicly expressed how he didn't like the fact that Kanye was willing to support a white supremacist. This behavior for him was enabling the culture of racism that both of these artists were victims of. Looks like Pusha has always been a bit of a social justice warrior, and he wasn't afraid to show it. No wonder he felt like he needed to move on from Kanye. Let's look at what the future holds for him. Oh, and if we haven't mentioned it yet, we'd have you all know that Pusha T is just his stage name, and we're getting a little tired of using it over and over, so let's just stick to his real one, Terrence Thornton. And yes, it might feel like without a mentor watching over his head, Terrence might have to struggle a bit in the industry, but might we remind you that this man has been rapping for over 10 years now, and he's built a niche for himself. He has the right connections, knows a whole lot of people, and even has genuine respect from the public. In fact, we can go as far as to argue that moving out of Kanye's wing might be a good thing for him, because it would give him the chance to materialize into an artist in his own right. We're excited to see where the future takes him, and you might also find it of interest that he's already started working for a bright future ahead of him. That's right, folks. Terrence has his own label under the name Airwave Music Group, and this label is already off to a great start because Pusha now shares a 50-50 deal directly with Def Jam for his music. Oof, this one must hurt for Yeezus. But hey, we all saw it coming. And lastly, let's look at everyone Kanye West has lost. When you go on public television and announce that the Jewish community has a secret agenda against everyone and that they control most of the industry, you're bound to raise a few eyebrows. But if that wasn't enough, Kanye went as far as to directly promote violence against an already marginalized group. And the worst part was that as someone who has to deal with the brunt of racism before, he should have understood the weight of his actions. Alas, he didn't, and that was where his downfall began. Ye hasn't always been the most unproblematic of figures, but this controversy topped all of his previous ones. Not only did big brands like Adidas, Gap, and Balenciaga cut him off, but he also could not be invited to even the most far-right talk shows. Yikes, that's saying something. Within the span of just a few months, he managed to go from being a billionaire to a millionaire. He lost brands, he lost fans, and he lost cash. And let us remind you that he already lost the apparent love of his life when Kim decided to divorce him in 2019. It almost feels as if Kanye dug himself into a hole. Some people even go as far as to say that the pride went to his head. We don't know where it all went wrong, but we also don't know if Kanye can find a way to turn this one around. And on this dark note, it's a wrap for today. Let us know your thoughts on Pusha's decision to cut ties with Ye. Do you think he made the right call? Tell us in the comments below. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.